Welcome to The Freight Break with your host, Dan Lindsey, the podcast that cuts through the noise of the trucking industry. We're talking real conversations, real relationships, and real insight that keep the wheels turning.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to this week's episode of The Freight Break. We have a special episode today. It's going to be me and my friend Charles Gracey breaking down the upcoming Broker Carrier Summit. Super excited to talk to him. But first, we need to give a huge shout out to our flagship sponsor of the show, Ty Software. Let's kick it over to Ty.
Meet Ty Software's workflow automation, built to help LTL and FTL freight brokers boost productivity. Use custom prompts to automate repetitive tasks like status updates, carrier changes, and shipment alerts right in the platform. Manage operations with automated scheduling, carrier management, and real-time updates. Workflow automation removes bottlenecks, freeing you up to grow your business. Best of all, it's easy to set up and use. No coding or tech skills required. Choose your workflows and Ty does the rest. Book a demo today and see how Ty makes efficiency happen.
All right, everyone. Welcome again to the show. I am really privileged to have my good friend and the new MC of the Broker Carrier Summit kicking off in Orlando in just a couple of weeks. Your friend and mine, man of many talents and many parts in the freight industry. Give it up for Charles Gracey. Charles, how are you, my friend?
What's up, my guy? Super excited to be here.
Super excited to have you, man. This is the first time that you've been on the show. Second time? I can't remember. Second time. Okay. Yeah. Always good to chat with you, man. How have things been for you?
Crazy, busy, but man, I'll tell you, for lack of any other better comparison, it is my absolute privilege to be emceeing the Broker Carrier Summit coming up here in October. I have done a lot of different things, and I am super stoked about this.
Dude, we're super stoked to have you. One of the reasons, and we talked about this a few months ago, one of the reasons it was so cool to bring you into this conversation, into this opportunity, was that you're a former driver. And if there is anyone who feels disconnected in this industry, it's drivers. And so I'm excited. We're going to be very driver focused, very carrier focused when it comes to specifically the content. We got Louis Pugh from OIDA going to be on stage with me talking about driver issues with brokers. I'm excited. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah. So to your point, I am a former driver, unapologetically so. I think drivers have long been part of this industry without a seat at the table. And so I am especially stoked to hear that we're going to be driver focused on that front. It also means that when I make bad broker jokes to kick things off, it's not going to be as awkward.
Hey, sometimes the truth is awkward. It's all right.
But I am especially stoked for it. I mean, I've been privileged to be at this event twice before this. So this will be my third BCS. I'll be emceeing it. We're going to have a lot of great people there. I couldn't find words to express how excited I am for what's about to happen and all the conversations that we're going to be facilitating there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I had a call with the carrier just the other day. He was talking to me about how excited he was. This will be his third Broker Carrier Summit as well. He came to Kansas City and Dallas, and they were super upset to have missed Indy in April. But he was telling me, he said, Dan, I've been moving loads with the brokers I met in Fort Worth and Kansas City ever since those shows. So he's looking forward to coming back and meeting more brokers. And that's one of the things that really people, there's the conversation going on right now. One of the conversations going on right now in the industry is the value that trade shows and conferences bring to the industry or to a company. I'm really excited the BCS is becoming known for the place where deals get done. If you're a broker or a carrier, or if you're a driver, you can actually find partners to make you money.
It's set up differently. A lot of the times when you're sending your team to these events, it's comparable to a 3-day bender. You go to these things, everyone's partying, everyone's being sold, but no actual conversations are being facilitated. No actual meaningful, impactful, intentional conversations are taking place. It's here's your card, here's my card. We go listen to someone talk, and then we go back out there and everyone's trying to sell you something. The BCS is completely different, the opposite of that. When I went to the first one in Dallas, Fort Worth, I was expecting to walk in there and everyone try to sell me the next snake oil of freight. And it was not that at all. You walk through the halls and it's just conversation after conversation, good content after good content. It was a complete mind blow of an experience to see something so meaningful and intentional taking place. It by far separates itself from other conferences out there for that reason.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that we've heard from all the attendees is along those lines is the conversations. The conversations are different. They're intentional. They feel like they're actually talking to real people and not, sales bots, right? There's a lot of that in the industry.
Well, and Indy was a lot of fun. Dallas-Fort Worth was a lot of fun, but Indy was a lot of fun. Once I get past knowing how my sinuses felt after letting you guys give me one of those shrimp cocktails,
that was a great story.
I didn't know the burn could be felt up in your eyeballs, but that's the thing.
Oh yeah, that'll clean out your sinuses.
Yeah, for like ever. But honestly, the content, the conversations, the new relationships, the networking, it topped off Dallas-Fort Worth, and I thought Dallas-Fort Worth was done wonderfully.
Speaking of which, we're 2 weeks away from the next summit. What are you most excited about? By the way, if you're not registered for the Orlando summit, you can register at the link below. I'm sorry. What are you most excited about, Charles?
The people, man. Like every time you do one of these, we get new faces there, new conversations, great content. This one's going to be a little different from the last couple because we're going to be giving drivers a voice in that room. So it's no longer the beginning of a bad bar joke when you say carriers, brokers, and drivers in the same place. It's going to be conversations taking place between the three biggest parties in trucking.
One of the things that I'm most excited about is what those conversations translate into, not only on the business side, but also we have a bunch of networking events built into it. We have the Women in Logistics happy hour mixer. We have our opening reception, which is always a good time, sponsored by TIE Software. Then we have our luncheon lane, sponsored by Hey Bubba, which that's if you're a carrier, if you're a driver, if you're a freight broker, if you're a broker agent, if you are involved in selling and moving freight, I think you need to go to the BCS for the luncheon lanes alone. That's where a lot of the deals get done between brokers and carriers. We had a carrier walk out of the Indianapolis summit back in April, day one. After an hour and a half long conversation with a broker with $2 million in freight under contract, I believe. So that's one of the things people ask me all the time. Why would I go to BCS? Why should I come back to the BCS? And that's the answer. That people make money. You find your next customers at BCS. So I'm excited about the networking events. And we have our final closeout party, which is the loaded and rolling Battle of the Bands in the House of Blues this year. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I can guarantee you one thing you won't look forward to is me singing or trying to play an instrument outside of hit and play on Amazon Music. Like that's the extent of my musical abilities. This is why I run a talk show.
Wait, so you're not going to get up there and riff on the guitar?
Air guitar, maybe.
Air guitar. Oh, we should incorporate that into that. So for those of you who do not know, we're renting out the concert hall of the House of Blues in Disney Springs for our final party. It's called Battle of the Bands. We're bringing in a band, a local cover band, to play some songs. And then what we're going to do is, if you have a musical talent, because there's a lot of people in the freight industry with hidden musical abilities. I was not aware of this until very recently. But we're going to invite you up on the stage. If you want to come up, if you want to play the guitar, if you want to play the drums, if you want to sing, whatever it is you want to do, it's going to be kind of like a full band concert karaoke type of thing. Maybe we need to bring in the air guitar as we
want to see everyone get up there and do something. Break out the air guitar so we can watch someone, tear a hammy or something along the way.
Yes, because injuries are just what we're looking for.
The best display of an air guitar I ever had was Willie Nelson, who's with the TXTA. He was up there doing an air guitar at a conference, and he almost took out the leg of an executive at CRST.
That's some intense air guitar work.
Oh yeah, he was into it, and he's got the hair flowing and all that, and it was just one of those things where everyone still talks about it. So I think the air guitar would be a great front runner. Maybe even opening before the real music comes out. Like, here's the people with no musical ability, but they can jump around and thrash.
You know, what would be cool is if we had the band. I'm actually gonna pitch this to the guys. If we had the band behind the curtain, and either you or me or someone gets up there, and it's just silence at the beginning, and then we open with like a air guitar power chord
in our back pocket.
Yeah. So anyway, we have a lot of ideation. We can still work with that.
We're gonna have a lot of fun.
It's gonna be a great time, and that's one of the coolest pieces of this, Charles, is that there is so much animosity, there's so much misunderstanding, there's so much mud slinging between freight brokers and trucking companies and freight brokers, drivers and carrier salespeople, all the time. At the BCS, we are able to provide a platform and a space for both sides to come together and actually enjoy time together. So, which is not common in this industry.
Well, I challenge everyone. I don't care what side of it you sit on. If you're a driver, owner, operator, small fleet owner, broker, or a carrier, I challenge everyone that's hearing this right now to attend Orlando. And the reason is, for your own selfish reasons, go there and network. Talk to some of these people. There's an immediate ROI if you break outside of your comfort zone and go talk to some new faces. Don't just go sit in the corner with the same people you know. Obviously, say hi to those people. Otherwise, it might be weird the next time you go somewhere. But go talk across the room to someone you didn't know. That's one thing I did intentionally in Indianapolis. And I talked to so many different people. Maybe not people as somebody that's in the third-party recruiting or media space that I have an immediate ROI, but hearing their stories and having those conversations, I was able to connect other people with them and have new conversations, sit there and facilitate conversations. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to sitting there introducing Group A to Group B so they can have that meaningful, impactful conversation. And I think people need to go in there and, to coin a phrase I try to use a lot, is be intentionally intentional with the conversations you're having. Go in there and know that you need to have those conversations. You will walk out with all kinds of new contacts, new ideas, and who knows, maybe a new client or a partner.
Well, and you touched on it. One of the things that's really cool to see is just what you said. Person A meets person B, and person A and person B may not do business, but you know what? Maybe one of those people knows somebody who does need the service. Those introductions happen all the time at BCS. I was talking to one of my buddies, Steve, who has been to almost all of the BCSs, almost all the summits, and he was saying the same thing. He's like, hey, I introduced this person to this person. Now they're doing business because of Broker Carrier Summit. It's just there's a follow-on effect where if you meet good people, and you know other good people in the industry who may not be there, you want to connect the good people that you met at the Broker Carrier Summit to other good people in the industry, because this industry is full of great people.
Well, and that's the beautiful thing about transportation. You get what you put into transportation. That has been my personal experience. I've watched it through generations of being in this business and other generations moving through the business. Roll up your sleeves, have those conversations, do the work, put in the sweat equity, and you will get what you put in the trucking. With the BCS, it's almost the exact same concept. If you go in there wanting to talk to people, wanting to meet people, wanting to make new partnerships and have new conversations, you're going to get that out of here. Versus going to some of these other conferences, you got to go through the gauntlet of tents and hopes that someone doesn't try to sell your firstborn in a conversation. This is different. Honestly, I'm super excited for it. I'm very passionate about the BCS. There's a lot of people I'm very intertwined with that have found a lot of success there. I've seen a lot of great things happen, a lot of great conversations. So it is going to be the highlight of my year. I'm looking forward to it. I feel extremely privileged to be the MC. And I'm also concerned about the lack of better options out there that I'm the MC, but hey,
Hey, you know what? One of the other options was me. And
oh yeah, then I'm solid chewing.
Solid. No, I tell people this all the time. Like, nobody comes to the BCS to hear 2 days of Dan talking. I wouldn't go to the BCS to hear me talk for 2 days. So
I have the gift of gab, man. I love people, so that's the big winner for me when it comes to the BCS and the role that I'll be playing. I'm extremely privileged to be able to use my gift of gab to hopefully entertain everyone, but also to facilitate those conversations. If I see you standing in a corner by yourself and you're at the BCS, just know I'm probably going to grab you by the arm and introduce you to 10 people. That is my mission going in there. Is I'm going to find those people that are otherwise shy, and yeah, you're going to get comfortable being uncomfortable because I'm going to be introducing you to people. So don't be standing by yourself. You better be talking to someone.
Yeah, you BCS attendees, you have been warned. Be busy or Charles will find you. Well, we've created a number of spaces too. So it's not just the networking events. It's not just the content. We created spaces for people to actually connect as well. One of the things we've done specifically for Orlando, the way the place is laid out is right outside the main ballroom area where all the keynotes are happening. We're going to have a handful of workstations. BCS workstations that are sponsored by a number of our sponsors. And those are rooms that are, or areas that are cordoned off for you to, if you need to go and knock out a few emails, or if you want to take a phone call, or if you want to meet with somebody, those spaces are going to be for you guys to go and have some time to knock some stuff out. We also have our Connection Zone, which I'm super excited about. Connection Zone is sponsored by Fox Carriers. It's going to be a series of high top tables cordoned off where you'll be able to pre-schedule your meetings with either brokers with carriers, carriers with brokers, vendors, sponsors with potential customers or current customers. And it's going to be a really relaxing space where you can sit down, have some conversations. Again, intentionality is the key. And I think that's one of the things that we want to continue to make sure is a staple of the BCS: intentionality and authenticity.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time, man. Like I've looked at the lineup. You got some solid content on the forefront. There's going to be a lot of great conversations being facilitated. I'm going to be walking the floor, talking to people. We're going to have a lot of great speakers lined up. And I'm also going to be broadcasting there. We're going to have Sirius XM broadcasting from the BCS. So if you see me with a mic in front of me, don't be shy. Walk up and say hello to 1.4 million listeners on Sirius XM. Don't be shy.
Be FCC friendly. Yeah,
we
don't want Charles getting fined.
We live in the day of cancel culture. I don't want to be canceled.
Talk to us about that, though, Charles. So you speak every single day to an audience of the largest driver audience in the world. What are you hearing from the road? What are the concerns from drivers and from the industry in general? What's out there in the space right now that people need to be paying attention to?
So the biggest takeaway. So we a while back, in September we had Drivers Appreciation Week, and I took a different approach. Drivers Appreciation Week tends to be this lip service thing. It's just propaganda from the ATA. I'm not going to go into the weeds on that, but there was a lot of feedback from the drivers out there, the men and women doing the job. And one of the biggest disconnects I see right now is what the industry is doing and what the drivers believe need to happen. And when I tell you the differences there, you would imagine that those opinions would be flipped, but that's not the case. The drivers want a higher barrier to entry, not only for drivers, but for brokers and for carriers. And here we're at this side, we're on a race to the bottom. Like drivers are shouting from the rooftops. They want better quality drivers. They feel unsafe that we're just putting meat in the seat. And the carriers are like, well, we want to pay for beginner drivers, but we want professional drivers. Well, those things don't line up. They don't align. And I look forward to the conversation taking place at the BCS about the drivers' number one concern is the barrier to entry in the trucking in general, and that they want it raised. They want people accountable. It's all the things that you would not imagine taking place in a conversation on that side.
And one of the really cool things that has become kind of a recurring segment of the BCS is our FMCSA update. So Ken Biddle's going to reprise his appearance. He's been to the last two BCSs, or no, the last three, I think. He's been coming since Kansas City, him and his team, and giving an update on what's going on at the FMCSA, whether it's in the compliance and regulatory space, whether it's in safety. And so that's always been a really good opportunity, not only for drivers, carriers, and brokers to hear what's going on, but to engage in a constructive way with the FMCSA. Because I've been to events in the past, and I won't go to the segments that have the either the DOT or the FMCSA there, and those the conversations that happen, let's just say they're not always the most helpful conversations. Sometimes there's a lot of yelling and word throwing around. But at the BCS, like, everybody who comes to the Broker Carrier Summit is solutions oriented. So they're asking how they can help be part of the solution. So that's going to be really cool.
Yeah. And so while we're doing this, we're having a lot of great constructive conversations at the BCS. I want to have one here. So as the MC, does that give me like the golden ticket to like step into a conversation at any point that's taking place?
I would say, so long as you're on stage, you're on stage, my friend.
Sweet. Because I have some great talking points with Ken Riddle. I look forward to actually sharing a conversation with him. I want to shout out on behalf of the Jake Break Nation some of their concerns. They often think that they're not heard. And I look forward to voicing that. I want him to know that they want the barrier to entry raised in trucking across the board.
Yeah.
And I don't think that people realize that that's what the drivers want. They want a better representation of what trucking is supposed to be versus what it is today.
Yeah. Well, especially the drivers that have been driving for 20, 30, 40 years. Like that's their profession. That's their occupation. That's their reputation. So every driver that gets in the seat, we had this conversation. You're a vet. You were in the Navy. I was in the Marine Corps. You had this conversation every single time you went on Liberty. Like, you're a part of the Marine Corps. You're a part of the Navy. Don't embarrass the Marine Corps, right? Yep. Don't, so everybody represents the entire organization, the entire group. And so when somebody does something stupid or illegal, like all these things we've been seeing recently in the news that have gained a lot of traction in Steam, specifically partially because of the current political climate we're in. We're not going to get into that, but it affects everyone. Yeah, not going to do that. But one incident affects everyone.
Yeah,
reputationally,
and that's so how they feel.
Yeah, because if you're a driver and you work and you go to get a load with a broker, right, and that broker just had the absolute worst experience with the driver, they're going to project that onto you as a driver, and it's not right of them to do so. It's also completely understandable. So I think we have to take a balanced approach to that and see both sides of the coin and hold each other accountable. Well, and the same thing goes for brokers as well. I'm not going to just single out drivers.
And that's the beautiful thing about the BCS is you getting those sides together so people can have those conversations and you can start to see empathy building up towards the other side and see things from their point of view. That way, once you have that level of empathy and understanding, you're on the path to a solution. And I've seen it time and time again in the BCS events I've been to, like Leffler and I, we sat and debated each other on opposite sides of non-competes for the entirety of our relationship until we sat down at the first BCS in Dallas-Fort Worth, and we had a conversation. We had a very meaningful conversation. I started to understand things from his point of view. He started to understand them from mine. And now we're more in sync and lockstep on it than we've ever been. And I value that relationship as one of the most important ones. So much so that I've given him a spot on my SiriusXM show every Friday so we can help share that perspective to others out there, and not just about non-competes, about things in general. I think more people need to be willing to hear the other person's side, the other group side, and that's how you have that path to an impactful solution versus meaningless conversations where someone's just ranting.
Absolutely. So one final question before we jump off here. I know we're kind of pressed for time, but again, we're 2 weeks out. So how can people best prepare for the Broker Carrier Summit, and what are some of the best practices that you've seen and implemented that people can implement for any event.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing you got to do is you got to go to brokercarriersummit.com and register. Like, do not miss that mark. Do not drop that ball. If you haven't done so, you need to do so right now. Trust me on this. And if you leave there and you feel like you didn't get anything, well, it's not going to happen. But if that's the case, find me and I'll reimburse you. Secondly, what I will tell you is you need to go in there preparing yourself to have conversations. Don't be sitting off in the corner. There's no one in there that's going to bite you. Everyone there wants to have those conversations. And I'm making it my personal mission. I'm saying it for the second time on this show. If I see someone standing by themselves and they're not on a meeting caller in one of the zones doing their work, I'm going to grab you and introduce you to someone. I want to see everyone having those conversations. It's been the most impactful thing in my experience at the BCS. So I want to share that with everyone out there. It is my personal mission to share how that feels. But go there, look up who's engaging in the event, look up who's going, look up the speakers, get familiar with what's happening out there and reach out to them. That's what I've done. I reach out to people going into the event and saying, hey, I really want to hear, even if I don't know what they do, I want to learn. I met the folks from Hey Bubba and Indy, and it was one of the most beneficial conversations. Because if I would have just heard about an AI dispatcher, I'd been like, yeah, drivers don't need that. No, they do. When you hear how it works and the experiences that people are having with it, I would have never thought that until I sat down and got to know them. And now it's one of those relationships I am very proud to have. I'm super stoked for what they're doing, and I want to support them in what they're doing. So you should want to go in and talk to people that you otherwise wouldn't be talking to. Spend a couple minutes, take what you like, leave what you don't. But that's the beauty of this whole group, this whole event, is everyone's going to be in one place with a common goal of networking and finding out how each other can help solve problems for the industry as a whole.
Are we going to have the privilege of seeing Paul in a banana costume again?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, he gets a little ripe when he's doing that, but I wouldn't. I would be remiss if I said there's not a possibility of something even spicier coming out of Paul.
Oh boy,
Paul should come with a warning
costume.
label, like how you get a hot cup of coffee from McDonald's says caution might be hot. We need a warning label for Paul. I might even look into talking to you about like getting special T-shirts that warning. He may share his opinion.
And it may conflict with yours. You never know. Hey, speaking of shirts, if you want to explore the world of BCS gear, I would be remiss if I did not point out to you bcsfreightnetwork.com/gear is our store. You can go and you can get your certified non-scumbag t-shirts, the original shirt that started the entire push for BCS swag. We also have some shirts and hats from our big road tour that's in its winding down stages currently, as well as some other content from our shows. So go there. Also, all of our sales from the BCS gear shop, part of the proceeds will be going to the Brittany Traylor Scholarship Fund for Brittany Traylor and her family. That she was a truck driver that passed away earlier this year. She was super ingrained in the BCS community, a very dear friend, and just a fantastic person. So go there, get your swag, support a good cause. Couple of house cleaning items, because I would be remiss if I didn't mention these as well. If you are registered for the Broker Carrier Summit in Orlando, make sure you go and download the BCS app. And if you do not have the app, email us at contact@brokercarriersummit.com and we will send you the link and the QR code for that. Also, we are in the age where events are less and less frequently sending out attendee lists in advance. I'm going to shoot a hot take out here. I think that's a bad idea. And the reason I think that's a bad idea is because the number one piece of value that you get from going to an event is meeting people. And so we've sent out our attendee list the last couple of weeks. We're going to continue to do so every week leading up to the Broker Carrier Summit. Look at that list, scour the list, find people on that list who you want to do business with and reach out to them. It might feel awkward at first, especially if you're not specifically in a sales role doing cold outreach. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's one person talking to another person. Okay. And if you are looking for business partners, be the one to take the first step. Carriers, if you are looking for freight, I know you're looking for freight. Take the first step out there. Reach out to a broker who's going to the broker carrier summit and say, hey, can we have a conversation how we can potentially help you? Brokers, same thing. You're dealing with carriers of varying levels of quality in this space right now. If you want to enhance the quality of your carrier base, reach out to the carriers that are attending the BCS and say, hey, we have these lanes. Can we talk about this opportunity at the BCS? They'd be happy to do so. So looking forward to meeting with everyone again in just under 2 weeks. Again, if you have not signed up, the link is going to be below. Charles, my friend, any parting words for everyone before we all gather together in Orlando for the best 3 days of freight?
Don't miss this. You do not want to miss this. You will have major FOMO. I'm going to be there. A lot of great people are going to be there. You need to be there.
Enough said. See you in 2 weeks, everyone.